On the one and only Wish TV.
It's better the second time around.
Celebrations of Capitol proportions are underway in Washington tonight as William Jefferson Clinton kicks off his second term as the nation's chief executive. Good evening, it's 11 o'clock. The first couple is making their rounds tonight at more than a dozen inaugural balls.
The parties cap off a day filled with patriotism and pageantry. Shortly after the noon hour, Bill Clinton took the oath of office in front of thousands of spectators, declaring today a national day of hope and renewal. He's promising a new government for a new century. News 8's Jim Shell is in the nation's capital. He joins us live now to tell us how the Indiana delegation is spending this night. Jim?
Mike, this inauguration is supposed to be scaled down from Bill Clinton's first inauguration in 1993. But tonight it's hard to tell. 14 separate balls, and every one of them large and elaborate. Indiana is sharing a ball with 4 other Midwestern states. It's being staged at the National Air and Space Museum. REO Speedwagon is the featured entertainment. Most of the attention, however, is being given to the president and vice president. Vice President Al Gore and wife Pipper made an early appearance at the Midwestern Ball, where Gore declared the National Air and Space Museum the best venue of any of the 14 ball sites. They danced briefly to the Tennessee Waltz. The Midwest Ball was also one of the president's first stops. Among those in the crowd watching, Brian and Susan Williams of Indianapolis.
I think he seems more like a president, if you know what I mean. He seems more at ease with his role now than he did 4 years ago, and you could tell that in his address today.
With Hillary at his side, he gave remarks tailored to the audience.
I'm going to give you 4 years as hard as I can. Hillary is, the vice president and Pipper are. We're going to do our best.
The Delaney family of Indianapolis gives a varied perspective on all the pageantry. Ed is an attorney just back from Europe, where he's been doing work for the Bosnian government.
I see how it works when people don't get along and can't find their successors to an appropriate device. So yeah, I feel very strongly about what's going on here.
Ann is a former state Democratic chairman with high hopes for a second Clinton term.
He's going to do that. I think he's going to forge a consensus so that we have less partisan bickering. I think that was the whole theme of his speech. Got the best reaction from the crowd, and I expect that he'll try to do that.
Teenager Tim is already attending his second inaugural.
A lot of people here, lots of different people from all over, and it's interesting. It's a good opportunity.
Whatever meaning you attach, it's one big party with a host winding his way through the Washington night in an effort to greet all the guests. First Lady Hillary Clinton has spoken at several of the balls tonight, and despite the hectic schedule, she and the president have remained on time. That's something they couldn't do all day, something they've not been known for. Maybe day one of turn 2 has already produced some change, Mike and Debbie.
Well, there's bipartisanship for one thing, at least for one day, that's for sure. Jim, thank you. Jim Scheller in
Thanks,
Washington.
Jim. Well, the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King was not forgotten on this inauguration day. In Atlanta, the family of the slain civil rights leader laid a wreath at his tomb. Here in Indianapolis, a special service was held at St. John's Missionary Baptist Church, a church Dr. King used to visit. And at the Children's Museum, youngsters took the Freedom March to learn about the history of civil rights. And this holiday was marred by reminders of racism in a neighborhood in South Florida. Some residents in West Palm Beach woke up to find racist literature scattered on their yards and driveways. The flyers carried insults to Dr. King and African Americans. Residents believe that it's the work of the Ku Klux Klan and have turned the flyers over to police. Well, the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday falls on the eve of what could be a change in policy for Indianapolis school desegregation.
Tomorrow, representatives from IPS are going to ask federal judge S.U. Dillon to rescind his order to use busing to integrate city schools. News 8's Tony Perkins joins us now after talking with some college students about whether busing has helped or hurt education. Tony, what'd you find out?
Well, Mike and Debbie, those students said that busing may have fallen short of its goal, but it should not be completely abandoned.
We've been trying for 13 years, and IPS still has the lowest education rate or test scores in the state, so we need to try something new.
IPS wants to end court-ordered busing over a period of 13 years. Officials say they'll develop their own plan to keep city schools racially balanced. College students attending IUPUI's annual King Holiday Dinner talked about the attempts to desegregate Indianapolis schools. They discussed how busing has succeeded in achieving some of its goals and failed at others.
if they haven't put the same resources in the black schools that they have in those white schools, busing shouldn't end.
IPS officials say thousands of students left the city schools because of court-ordered busing, and it also cost IPS millions of dollars, increasing the gap in the quality of education between the city schools and those in the townships. In 1981, busing was seen as the best way to link students from racially separated neighborhoods. But 13 years later, some say Indianapolis neighborhoods are not as segregated as they used to be. Not everyone agrees.
There's always room for improvement, and I think as long as the city has that sense of understanding that there's always room for improvement in terms of allowing for people to understand differences between people.
As I drive around Indiana all the time, in Indianapolis all the time, I see you have a black neighborhood, you have a white neighborhood, but it's not where you have a community.
Now, the Indianapolis social atmosphere has changed over the years. Originally, the township schools resisted the idea of court-ordered busing. Now the townships don't like some of the ideas that IPS is suggesting, but they say they will go along with whatever decision Judge Dillon comes up with. Mike and Debbie, back to you.
Again, all starting tomorrow.
That's right.
Thanks, Tony.
Well, if your kids really love snow days, move to Owen or Putnam counties. For the 5th school day in a row, the Spencer-Owen district has decided to cancel classes. And North Putnam schools are operating on a two-hour delay tomorrow. Owen County school officials say most students live on smaller county roads that are still ice and snow covered. Owen County has 11 plows for 600 miles of road. Last year, students missed 11 days of school because of terrible road conditions. So far this year, they have missed 9 days. Well, here in Marion County, much of the ice has melted, uncovering an even bigger problems on the roads.
Chuck holes are causing some serious damage to cars, and tonight the city is asking for your help in finding the worst ones. News 8's Scott Swan joins us live now with that story. Scott?
Mike and Debbie, the same crews that were out plowing the roads last week will be out with a much different task next week. They'll be asked to repair the hundreds of chuck holes across the city.
You'll find them just about anywhere.
They're there, and there's not much avoiding them.
But they're all over town.
Call them chuck holes, potholes, craters, or caves. The asphalt monsters have arrived for their annual tradition of gobbling up cars.
That's pretty typical for a big freeze thaw that we've just had, and then with a lot of precipitation out there kind of getting underneath the road, that really makes them susceptible to that.
Many drivers tonight had a hard time seeing the new chuck holes because many of them were filled with water. In the morning, crews will make temporary repairs.
The asphalt we put in there may last a day, may last a few weeks, but probably not much more than that. So we're just making temporary repairs and hoping that we don't have to come out too many times before this spring.
The Department of Public Works spends over $1 million annually to repair chuck holes. This year, they'll use a new asphalt made specifically for Indianapolis.
It takes into account the temperature fluctuations we have here, the amount of precipitation we get, and the amount of traffic actually on the roadways.
The potholes mean big business for local auto mechanics. Car damage accounts for 10% of business at Castleton Auto Repairs.
They damage their tires, such as separating one of the steel belts, or bend their rim, throw their car out of alignment. They could damage some key suspension parts. You could do $500–600 worth of damage real easy.
Now, if you want to report a chuck hole in your area, here's the phone number to call. It's the Mayor's Action Center. Appropriate phone number, huh? Call 327-HOLE. That translates into 327-4653. Now, the Department of Public Works says they've been making some headway in repairing the number of chuck holes. They say there are not as many chuck holes now as there were 4 or 5 years ago, but I guess you and your car will be the judge of that when you get back out on the roads tomorrow. Mike and Debbie?
And I think the worst is yet to come as winter continues and we get these thaws. All righty, thanks, Scott.
Still to come on News 8 tonight, Bill Cosby honors his son with a tribute during tonight's CBS comedy.
A cement truck floats downstream as 2 people hang on for their lives. Find out how this rescue ends.
He is Super Bowl bound, but is Bill Parcells leaving the Patriots? Mark Patrick has that story.
And who gets more fan mail, Madonna or the Pope? Patty does some soul searching for the answer, new at 11.
If you've got the guts, get ready for the ride of your life. Hit the streets for an all-new season. LAPD, Life on the Beat. Weekdays at 4.
Same frame and lenses. Same frame and lenses. same quality care. Why do others charge more? We don't understand it either, but we do know iWorld customers have been saving for years. iWorld selection now includes brand name frames for only $119, complete with lenses. iWorld also offers a complete line of contact lenses, like Bausch & Lomb lenses at value prices. At iWorld, satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. So before you buy your next pair of glasses or contacts, you should visit iWorld.
Quiet on the set. Who made him boss? Action.
18 million homeless dogs and cats will find their way to animal shelters this year, hoping for a warm home. You can help. Collect Homeless, Homer, and Morris symbols from specially marked pet food packages. Participating shelters will redeem your symbols to receive much-needed funds. For more information on the Homeless Pets program, please call.
That's a wrap. Another hard day's work.
I'm Damon Bailey. As a basketball player, I know what it's like to become frustrated, but I also know when I need a timeout. Every year, thousands of babies suffer blindness, brain damage, or even death because someone became frustrated and shook a child. It's tragic but true. No matter how impatient or angry you feel, remember, never, never shake a baby. If you do, it could result in severe injury or death.
Looking for a smart way to manage your money? You don't have to be an expert to recognize the value of direct deposit. With direct deposit, your pension and Social Security checks go right into your account safely, automatically. Handle your money the smart way, the convenient way. Join me and millions of other Americans and use direct deposit. To sign up, contact your bank or credit union or talk to the fine people at Social Security by calling 1-800-772-1213. Thank you.
And I've got friends, you know.
2 weeks after a car plowed into the Jordan YMCA, the gymnasium is once again open. It was time today to remember 26-year-old Adam Miller. He was killed after a driver lost control of her car and struck Miller inside the gym. The driver, Mary Roberts, says she still doesn't know what happened, and she hasn't been charged in that accident. Well, police say that a workplace shooting today between a divorced Westfield couple was not the first sign of violence between the two.
Both are in critical condition tonight with gunshot wounds to the head. Our Anne-Marie Tiernan joins us now from the newsroom with more on this. Anne-Marie?
Well, good evening, Mike and Debbie. Police say in 1995, Jeffrey Jeffries was arrested for battering his wife. And during the arrest, police confiscated several guns, but they were later returned. And now it appears that one of those weapons was used at Community North Hospital late last night. Police say 36-year-old Jeffrey spoke with his ex-wife, 34-year-old Valerie Adamson, after her nursing shift ended. A fellow nurse told police that she saw him pointing a gun at his ex-wife. Jeffries reportedly turned the gun on the co-worker until she left. And then just seconds later, police say Jeffrey shot his ex-wife and himself in the head. Both remain hospitalized tonight. Now, they have two young boys, ages 7 and 9, and tonight the female victim's mother says that her daughter was afraid of her ex. They recently divorced. Back to you.
Anne-Marie, thank you, and return in our newsroom.
Well, remember the boy known as Baby Richard, whose father battled more than 3 years in a successful effort to win him back from the couple who adopted him? Well, the father, Ottokar Kirchner, has moved out on his wife and son. The boy, who's now 5 and named Danny Kirchner, is living with his mother in Illinois. Danny was taken sobbing from his adoptive parents in 1995. Kirchner's former lawyer says it hurts a lot for Ottokar Kirchner to leave, but he says Danny is apparently doing well.
Well, the Pacers want you to know just how badly they need a new arena by getting a first-hand look. So they are opening up MSA to fans for a series of tours. Today, they showed off what is not part of MSA, like the fact there is no front door, no amenities such as corporate suites or a huge TV screen in the middle of the court. The spokesman for the Capital Improvements Board says without a new arena, the city could lose the Pacers to another city within 2 years.
I guess those tours are going to continue, and you have to almost make a reservation for them.
And they're filling up fast, I understand,
right.
So people want to see.
Well, this is going to be a nice week to do any kind of touring because it's going to get warmer. Here's Chris Wright with more.
Well, Mike and Debbie, if you're like most folks across central Indiana, you've had enough of looking at all that snow in the driveway. Well, the good news is temperatures will stay mild, the snow will melt, but there's rain and snow in the forecast. We'll talk more on that next.
The voice of Snow White is silent, and the star of Different Strokes is once again in trouble with the law. We'll have that tonight. A politically intriguing show, you could call it. Bob Dole, Barbara Streisand with Letterman on The Late Show.
In a world of constant change,
this is your news.
one thing remains the same.
The one and only
24-hour News 8. We're working harder to get the story, to bring you news that affects your life.
This is your news.
From around our world to your backyard, experience the one and only.
The one and only.
The leaders in live local news coverage.
Always have been.
Always will be. This is the one and only Wish TV.
Hey, think you can't drive a 1996 or 97 car because of past history? The friendly folks at Hubler Nissan say think again. Hubler Nissan's special program can put you in the seat of a 96 or 97 Nissan tomorrow and put your car buying history behind you. Only at Hubler Nissan can you drive home in a new 1996 or 1997 Nissan, working with over 30 lenders to get you the best deal. Take the first step to a fresh start tomorrow at Hubler Nissan. Hubler Nissan, 8435 US 31 South. Ask for friendly Phil Fields.
Well, your questions are finally answered
with the We Value Youth hotline.
You can get info on jobs, volunteering, and where to pick up one of these. A We Value Youth nomination form.
All this just by dialing 1-888-4YOUTH-8. Are you writing this down?
That's 1-888-4YOUTH-8.
And get this, it's a free call.
Oh wait, this wouldn't be possible without
Consolidated Communications, American Dairy Association,
McCoy, and Wish TV.
Are you dialing yet?
Three little numbers that can save a life, stop a fire, solve a crime.
When you call 911, stay on the phone, give as much information as possible, and try to stay calm. Help is on the way.
911, use it for emergencies.
The one and only Wish TV!
Two men inside this cement truck owe their lives to the Los Angeles Fire Department. They were plucked to safety shortly after the truck fell into a flooded stretch of the LA River this afternoon. The truck became wedged under a bridge, and that made it easier for helicopter crews to rescue the two men.
Boy, what a fiasco. Yes. So that would be a good thing, though, a cement truck, it's going to at least stay there, you know, for a while anyway.
Yeah, we're not going to get floodwaters like that when all the snow melts, are we?
I tell you, we're going to have some localized flooding. Some areas here in central Indiana have 6 to 8 inches of snow on the ground. Now, the next storm system coming through is going to bring us an inch of rain, and that's going to melt the snow, so you're going to have quite a bit of runoff all at one time. So there is going to be some localized flooding over the next couple of days, especially by the end of the week. So keep that in mind when you see the snow starting to melt. You want to keep an eye on drainage areas around your home and make sure they're cleaned out from leaves and debris so the water will drain and won't just stagnate there. We had a beautiful day of weather across central Indiana today. We had a mix of clouds and sunshine. Temperatures warmed up. The high temperature made it up to 39 today. That after a low temperature of 20 this morning. The average high temperature 33, so above average for today. For tomorrow, we'll have sunrise at 8:01 and sunset at 5:52. Right now, a few clouds around, the temperature 32 degrees. Winds are from the east and the wind chill is at 29. Humidity 85% and barometers on the rise at 30.18. A mix of clouds and sunshine today, and temperatures warmed up into the 30s and 40s across Indiana. 38 at Arcadia, 44 the high in Carmel, and 46 in Greencastle. And Nineveh the high at 47, 48 the high in Brownstown. And we'll see temperatures a few degrees warmer than this for tomorrow. We've got a few clouds overhead right now. A weak little cold front will slide through us during the overnight period. Not as cold for tonight. We'll find our low temperatures in the 20s and 30s across Indiana, and a warmer push of air tomorrow coming up from the south will push our high temperatures into the 40s and 50s. We are expecting some rain tomorrow night on through Wednesday morning. We'll see about a ½ inch of rain here in central Indiana, then another ½ inch of rain or so during the day on Wednesday before it all changes over to snow. That'll be coming up on Thursday. Here's a look at the storm system that's going to bring that rain and snow our way over the next couple of days. Low pressure back out over the plains, causing quite a bit of rainfall. We'll see the warm front moving through us tomorrow, so it'll bring in that warmer flow of air, but also some moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, so we'll expect showers late tomorrow on through Wednesday. That secondary cold front, that'll move through Wednesday night and Thursday, and that will cause our rain to change over to snow. Here's your forecast for tonight across central Indiana. Mostly cloudy skies, not as cold tonight, down to a low temperature of 29 degrees. And for your Tuesday, cloudy, breezy, and warmer. The high temperature up to 48, wind from the south at 25. In the extended forecast, rain is likely on Wednesday. Rain changing over to snow before ending on Thursday with a high of 39. And another chance of snow coming away on Saturday with a high temperature 33. Again, the next storm coming through will mainly be rainfall for us here in central Indiana, so watch out for flooding later in the week.
You almost ran out of weather symbols on that
Tell
one.
me about it.
Yeah, everything.
All right, Chris, thanks. Mark Patrick here now to talk about sports.
Yes.
This is Debbie's librarian.
Yes. You got it. That's right. It's kind of the intellectual. No, I forgot my contacts.
Oh, really?
So I have to be able to read.
Well, coming up next in sports, maybe I'll put them on and do a little hurry-calorie.
Finding the home that's just right for you may seem like it requires an act of magic. After all, buying a home is a big commitment. It represents the single largest purchase most people will ever make. With the Magic Living Homes video, you'll discover how to buy the most home for your money, the Energy Miser, the #1 selling brand of manufactured housing in America.
But I want a real home. Isn't manufactured housing just another kind of mobile home?
Definitely not. Our video will show you how Magic Living Homes are built to higher quality standards than site-built homes costing thousands more. Magic Living Homes are constructed in our own factory under precise controlled conditions. These homes offer a level of strength, durability, and craftsmanship that most site builders can't begin to approach. The Energy Miser home is so solid, it even survived Hurricane Andrew.
I want a home that's me, made for the way I live.
At Magic Living, we understand you have your own specific needs. With so many unique designs to choose from, the key decisions are up to you. From fireplaces to floor tile, the choice is yours.
These manufactured homes sound great to me. So why don't I see more of them?
You probably do and don't even realize it. Today, 1 in 3 homes sold in the U.S. is a manufactured home. We have sold over 100,000 Energy Miser homes.
Okay, you've almost convinced me. I'm going to call for the video. But you've got to tell me, aren't manufactured homes hard to finance?
When you purchase a Magic Living home, you have all the financing options you would with any new home, except that it's easier and quicker. You can get up to 30-year adjustable and fixed-rate mortgages and even qualify for FHA and VA loans. Our own finance company can specifically tailor a mortgage just for you.
I can buy direct from Magic Living. They'll build my home the way I want, help me finance, and even pre-approve me to buy? Sounds like magic to me.
Call this toll-free number to order your Magic Living video today.